These questions are the same general idea. They're asking me to find the area under a curve. The difference here is that they don't actually show me the curve. That said, because the equations include a y equals function, the y equals 0 lines, and two x equals lines, it really operates the same way. The function itself goes inside the integral, 2x squared plus 7. It goes dx, and it goes from the lower x value, 0, to the higher x value, 3. This y equals 0 is implied by the integral, saying what's the area under the curve down to the line y equals 0 over the axis. So when I go to integrate this x squared becomes 2x to the new power is 3. I have to divide by that new power of 3. This 7 didn't used to have any x next to it, so an x appears. And we're evaluating it from 0 to 3. When I put a 3 in, it becomes 2 times 3 cubed over 3 plus 7 times 3. I subtract from that when I put a 0 in. 0 makes this term 0, 0 makes this term 0, so minus really nothing. 3 cubed is 27. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21. So this becomes 18 plus 21, or 39. For part B, I do the same thing. I start by saying this function is inside my integral, 5 plus the cube root of x. When I go to write the cube root of x, I'm going to write it as power over root so that I can then integrate properly. So instead of writing cube root of x, I'm going to write x to the 1/3 here. It's going to be with respect to x. This y equals 0 tells me that yes, I'm integrating this function and trying to find the area to the axis. This gives me the lower bound, this gives me the upper bound, so it's from 0 to 6. When I integrate here, 5 just becomes 5x. X to the 1/3 is a little more tricky. I have to add 1 to it, but adding 1 really means adding 3/3. So this becomes x to the 4/3, and I divide by that new power, 4 over 3, being evaluated from 0 to 6. The 5x can stay a 5x, but let me clean this up a little. Dividing by 4/3 is like multiplying by 3/4. So this becomes plus 3x to the 4/3 over 4, still being evaluated from 0 to 6. When we plug in a 6, this becomes 5 times 6 plus 3 over 4, 6 to the 4/3. From that, I need to subtract when I put in the lower bound, but in this case, the lower bound is 0, which makes this 0 and this 0, so I don't need to worry about the specifics. 5 times 6 gives me 30. When I go to figure out what this is, I definitely need my calculator. So I'm going to put into my calculator 3 parentheses 6 to the power of parentheses 4 divided by 3 and parentheses divided by 4. When I do all that, my calculator tells me 8.177. When I add them together, I get 38.177.